Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing another movie commentary with a little bit of a twist. So I love the film Across the Universe so much. I recently went to go see it with one of my dear friends, Kelly. We recently saw it at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, and basically it was the equivalent of this meme because I kept pointing out all these little Easter eggs and fun facts about the Beatles that they put into this movie. And I thought I'd do it for you today. Let's watch the movie Across the Universe, have some fun, talk about the Beatles, and all these little fun hidden gems that are sprinkled throughout. I'm gonna do my best. I tried looking some up to see if I missed any, but I think it'd be cool to just watch live and see how well I do, and you can comment below if I missed something, and let's just have fun. Maybe you'll learn something, maybe you won't. I'm not an expert in anything. I've never claimed to be, but I did take a Beatles history class in college, so I'm pretty knowledgeable on this, okay, you guys? I have a degree in theater. Let's start it right now. Woo! Jim Sturgess is so handsome! I'm already crying. I'm PMSy, you guys, so I'm already crying. Jim Sturgess is looking into my soul. I feel like the luckiest girl in the world, the luckiest human in the world. This goes beyond gender. You are hypnotized by this man. Gorgeous. So now we meet Evan Rachel Wood's character. I forgot to say that Jim Sturgess' character's name is Jude. So he technically is the first Easter egg. He's Jude. Hey Jude. And Lucy, played by the beautiful Evan Rachel Wood, she is, of course, Lucy in The Sky with Diamonds. They're kind of singing a split version of Hold Me Tight, which is one of the early songs from the Beatles. It's a really cool transition, like, throughout the movie, an evolution, if you will, of how they go through the Beatle era. So this is very early Beatles, like early 60s. And so she's in America, he's over in Liverpool, and we see the Cavern Club, or what is supposed to be a little reference to the Cavern Club. So very cute. Yeah, this is when I was leaning over and pointing at my friend Kelly, being like, now this scene is... And here's the thing, you know, he should just be grateful that he has a friend like me to explain that movie to him and all the little fun facts. Like, can you imagine those people who didn't have me at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery to guide them through this film? The experience that they probably had was so limited. You guys, this is so shady. This girl is just credited as Jude's girlfriend, Liverpool girlfriend, and she has a name, right? Martha? Am I wrong? Did I make that up? Maybe I did.
Wait a damn minute.
So Jude is telling this older gentleman how he's going to leave the country or something. And the guy says, I said the same thing. I used to say, when I'm 64, I'll be long gone from here. And look, I'm still here. So there we have another little Easter egg. When I'm 64, the Beatles song that is off of Sgt. Pepper. Yes, I am dumb. That is, Jude's mom is Martha. The girlfriend is, she doesn't have a name. Martha Feeney, Jude's mom. Let's say that this is a reference to the song Martha My Dear off of the White Album, which is of course based on, I say of course like you all know this, like I gotta stop. But of course it is named after Paul's dog Martha, his sheepdog Martha. Martha My Dear is about the dog, okay? She has a name. I knew it. Her name is Molly. Oh, amazing. Do you think it's a Good Golly Miss Molly? What do you think? What do you think it's a reference to? Comment below. And now we get a great rendition of All My Lovin' by our boy Jim Sturgess.
And hope that my dreams will come true.
Love you, Jim. My dream is to sing a duet with Jim Sturgess. I just want to harmonize. So it's kind of cute how this movie has all these different storylines that kind of come together in a chosen family way. My favorite type of movies and plays, musicals, are chosen family shows. We meet Prudence, who is a cheerleader, and she sings a kind of slowed down rendition of I Wanna Hold Your Hand. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not my favorite arrangement. I think the actress TV Carpio, who plays Prudence, I think she does a lovely job. She's a great singer. I just am not a fan of this slowed down arrangement of the song. However, I will say I love the queer storyline of Prudence singing to a girl. I like that she's singing I Wanna Hold Your Hand to a girl she has a crush on. And they kind of really do a cool trick with the camera. You think she's looking at the guy with the girl, jealous of the girl with the guy, but no, she's jealous of the guy with the girl. And I love that. And it's really cool because this is the 60s, and to kind of put this queer narrative in there in this time that was like very taboo. Even though it was there, it's all there the whole time. Queerness has been around forever, and I love this storyline, but I don't love the arrangement. Oh, and of course, Prudence is a reference to the song Dear Prudence, which we will hear later. I'm getting ahead of myself, but the song is off of the White Album, and it's about Mia Farrow's sister Prudence, and John Lennon wrote it while they were in India, and they were all there together. There's some other tea with the Maharishi being a creep, but we're not gonna get into that because then we'll really be here all day. Now we meet Max. And honestly, this is my trouble with this movie, because I'm either thirsting over Jude or Max. They're completely different. It depends on the mood I'm in, but I want both. So if either of them want to call me, I know that this was a film from 20 years ago, but hey, that still works for me. I'm just saying. Joe Anderson, he kind of is like, got that Kurt Cobain thing going for him. Max's character's full name is Maxwell, so that is a reference to the Abbey Road song, Maxwell Silverhammer, and we'll get a couple more references of that song in the film, so stay tuned. So, rundown of what's happened so far. Jude has tracked down his father to this university thinking he's this hotshot professor, however, he is a janitor. Nothing wrong with being a janitor, Jude. I got it. You had a vision in your mind and it didn't work out. Then he meets Max again because Max is running from, he threw golf balls through a window. It's a whole mess. And this is my friend Kaylin's favorite line, so shout out to Kaylin.
Where's that accent from?
Same place as me, Liverpool.
Same place as me, Liverpool. Icon!
No, I don't think you understand. I'm obsessed.
Now we get another song, and how great is it that this movie isn't just like Beatles references, but it's also Beatles songs. It's a musical. Like, come on now. We get a musical? Let's go. A jukebox musical of the best songs in the world, the Beatles, and we get a great rendition of With a Little Help from My Friends. They do a great job of kind of mixing the original Beatles song and the Joe Cocker version.
Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key. Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key.
And I discovered that from a YouTube comment. If I find it again, I will credit the source, but I never really noticed that. I never caught on, and then I read that comment on YouTube. I was just like, that's perfect. That makes so much sense. Especially because Joe Cocker makes an appearance later in this film, and guys, we're gonna get to it. It's exciting, and I am on the edge of my seat. And we also get this great little Brigitte Bardot reference. She is like a poster on the wall. They sing to her, or at least Max does. And fun fact, John Lennon had a celebrity crush on Brigitte Bardot. So there's another little fun fact for you. Okay, so I'm going to read this. This is from IMDb because I remembered something about the smoking in this scene. With the little help from my friend's scene, Jude is handed a joint. If you look closely, his fingers are touching each other, indicating they aren't holding anything. Yet a split second later, he coughs out a puff of smoke. This is done because they were filming on Princeton University's campus and they weren't allowed to have actual drugs, so they mimed the joint instead. This is stated in the movie commentary. This was also done to keep the film from receiving an R rating. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. I thought it was for the R rating, but I didn't even think about the fact that they were on Princeton University's property. Lucy gets a letter from her boyfriend who is stationed away in the Vietnam War. Then we get another song. We get It Won't Be Long, and it's kind of cute that it's sung by her sister, and her friend. So I kind of love that this is a female-led trio and cool harmonies. That's right. And then we get the scene in the school. I love the part where they're with the ticking clock. It won't be long, yeah, yeah, yeah. So cute. And they're playing basketball. I just love the 60s vibes of this, the early 60s vibes. So Max is visiting Lucy at the high school. He's picking her up. He brought Jude along because it is Thanksgiving. He invited Jude to their family home, yada yada. And yeah, it's revealed that Max and Lucy are brother and sister. And the you-know-what's about to hit the fan, okay, you guys, when we get to the Thanksgiving table. I'm so excited. So I have to give a little shout out to Bill Irwin here, who plays Uncle Teddy. That'd be a little Richard reference? Come comment below. But not only did our boy play Mr. Noodle in Elmo's world, you guys, come on, I also saw him in a play when I was in college. He is a very interesting vaudeville comedian, clown-esque vibes, and we were studying Waiting for Godot or Godot, however you want to pronounce it, and he did this kind of tribute to Beckett, and it was a really cool one-man show. He also has a Tony Award for a performance in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, so icon, very much so. Shout out to you, Mr. Noodle. We love you on this channel. Also, shout out to Lynn Cohen, who's the grandmother, and if you know Sex and the City, you know she is Magda. R.I.P. Lynn Cohen, you got not a single acknowledgement in Just Like That, but I remember you. Okay, so now we get I've Just Seen a Face, which is off of the Help album. You know what, honestly, it depends on where you're from, because there are different, you know, the British, the UK releases of these albums. My dad and I used to fight about what songs were off of Rubber Soul and what songs were off of Help, so I'm just going off of what I know, okay? Fight me in the comments, but please don't fight me. I'm just a girl who loves the Beatles, okay? I've Just Seen a Face. We get a great rendition of it in the bowling alley. Jude and Lucy Sparks are kind of flying. They both have relationships already, so what are they gonna do? Sing a song in the bowling alley, of course. Duh.
Have you seen your face? I can't forget the time or place where we just met. She's just a girl for me.
Fallen, yes, I'm fallen. So now Max and Jude have decided to just haul ass to New York, and I love this shot. The highway exit. New York! So now we are in the New York apartment that they have found, and it's kind of like there's a bunch of other people living there. The top of like this like 16 floor walk up, I don't know. We meet the landlord, our girl Sadie, who is kind of like this Janis Joplin musician type. Sadie is a reference to another White Album song called Sexy Sadie, which is actually a song about the Maharishi. Originally it was Maharishi, and then they turned it into Sexy Sadie because John Lennon, it was a diss track to the Maharishi, alright? It was a diss track, and the label was kind of just like, no, we can't print that, and John was like, fine. So it's just kind of funny how it works, and now we have an actual character named Sadie after this song. Okay, so now one of my favorite lines, Sadie said to Max, you look kind of clean cut, and then again, could have murdered your granny with a hammer, and that's a reference to Bang Bang Maxwell Silver Hammer. I remember Kelly being like, this dialogue, and I was like, no, you don't understand. It all connects. There's a reference to everything.
New every time. It's brand new every night. It's very, very exciting.
Clear? So now we find out, unfortunately, tragically, Lucy's boyfriend Daniel has passed away in Vietnam, because she says later that he did something brave, he wore a medal when they buried him, so. And we get this beautiful rendition of Let It Be.
Let it be.
It's very well executed, it's very haunting. So we kind of get a glimpse into like 60s race riots, violence against black people. I love that this movie doesn't sugarcoat anything. Yes, there's some fun pop numbers and beautiful aesthetics, but there's some really haunting and touching scenes that I think stick with you, especially having this little boy start the number and singing. And then we find out by the end, the woman who's singing is singing at his funeral. So this poor little boy, unfortunately, his life was taken. Yeah, it's very well executed, I think, in this film. Yes, see, this says Detroit Police, so this is in Detroit. I believe this is a reference to the 1967 Detroit riot. The 12th Street riot, it was one of the bloodiest of the urban riots in the United States during the long hot summer of 1967. That is, I believe, what this is a reference to. Oh, it says here that this boy is supposed to be JoJo's brother. Interesting, because JoJo appears at the funeral. He is somebody who will be playing a bigger part in the film soon, and JoJo is a reference to Get Back, but we'll get to that. Okay, this is interesting. The X-ray on Amazon Prime says that it is his brother at the funeral, the little boy. I didn't know that. I just thought he was related to him in some way, but they are stating it is his brother. This is why this movie is so good and directed so well, because after something like that, we need a little bit of a pick-me-up, and we have a great rendition of Come Together by our main man, or at least my main man, Joe Cocker. First, we meet JoJo, and the name JoJo is a reference to the song Get Back off of Let It Be. JoJo is a man who... how do the words go? It's been a long night, you guys. I'm doing my best. JoJo was a man. JoJo was a man who thought he was a loner. And we have Joe Cocker playing 3 characters. First, we see him appear, I think, in the subway as this kind of rambler.
Got to be a joker, he just do what he please.
and then we see him appear after hours. He is a certain type of fellow. You can tell by the outfit. I want to give a shout out to one of the amazing women in this section, the amazing Deidre Goodwin, who I love from A Chorus Line on Broadway. I've never seen it, but she was in the revival and I watched a lot of bootlegs. The theater nerd is coming out, you guys. Gotta give her some love, okay? You may recognize her from Chicago. She did the song Cell Block Tango. Now I'm sitting in the kitchen carving up a chicken for dinner. She did that section. So shout out Deidre. Love to see you on my screen at all times. Amazing dancer, Broadway actress. Now we see Joe again. He's kind of like this hippy dippy guy. And this I think is kind of a reference to Greenwich Village. And what I love is that, we get there's a poster right there for the Black Panther Party. Tried so hard not to say that like Forrest Gump, you guys. Oh my gosh.
Sorry I had a fight in the middle of your Black Panther Party.
A Black Panther Party poster and just people handing flyers. My favorite reference in this scene, and we see throughout the film, we see this club called Cafe Ha, which is a reference to Cafe Wha, the club in Greenwich Village. Launched the careers of Jimi Hendrix, Bob Dylan. I went a couple of times. Guys, their house band was insane. This guy did an incredible rendition of Purple Rain. So Jojo auditions for our girl Sadie's band. He gets the job, and our boy Jude showing some of his art designs at this little company, I want to say graphic design place, and yeah, everybody's hustling and doing stuff. Max is a taxi driver. They're making their way in New York. So while we have Sadie kind of being this Janis Joplin-like figure, we have Jojo kind of giving us some Jimi Hendrix. I don't know if I ever really, I guess maybe in the clothes that sexy? That's sexy? That's Sadie tries to dress him in. She kind of tries to give him this Jimi Hendrix look later on in the film. I guess the guitar playing, but Kelly, I think, was the one that kind of pointed it out to me, the Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix kind of vibes. And I've read that on the internet as well about this film, that they're kind of representing the other musicians of that era. So Prudence crawls into the apartment, and Sexy, I'm just gonna keep calling her that now, Sexy Sadie, she says, where did she come from? And Jude says she came in through the bathroom window. That's off of Abbey Road. Underrated song, honestly. When you really think about it, she came in through the bathroom window. Even that just like transition from Polythene Pam, so good. You can go check out my Abbey Road piece on my website. I talk about Polythene Pam, who is actually Polythene Pat, who is a real person, and all these other really cool things about Abbey Road. So go check that out. I'll link it in the episode's description. Okay, here we are at the club. Let's assume it's Cafe Ha. Sadie performing Why Don't We Do It in the Road, iconic song off of the White Album. Her voice is just perfect for this. Helter Skelter. She does these, oh darling, she does these really cool, more of the gritty Beatles songs. I think you could call them the gritty songs. Her voice has this really cool rasp, this really cool growl about it. Don't wait to do it in the road. But still controlled. Lucy has come to the city. She's hanging out with all of Jude and Max's new friends and roommates. Prudence is now living with them. And then we also get appearance from this guy who wants to represent Sadie. He's checking her out. He runs a label. Oh no, Max gets a letter ordered to report for armed forces physical examination. He's freaking out. I'm freaking out. It's a mess. Lucy and Jude are having a little moment by the water. And then she sings If I Fell, which is off of Hard Day's Night. I don't really like it sung by a girl. I know what they were trying to do because of that lyric, that you'd love me more than her, which John is singing about if you, this female, would love me more than her, the girl I'm with right now. But they kind of make it with the girl singing, he has another girl. The guy that she likes has another girl. You would love me more than her.
Would love me more than her.
She's not relevant. I think they just added her for literally like this scene. I mean, she was in the scene prior, but whatever. Just so they could have a girl sing this song. I don't love it. I personally don't love it. Evan Rachel Wood sings beautifully, but I like it when John sings it.
If I fell in love with you, would you promise to be true and help me?
So they finally kiss, Jude and Lucy, and they spend the night together, and Max has to report for his induction ceremony, whatever it's called. His date with Uncle Sam, as he calls it.
I'm just letting you know I got a date with Uncle Sam.
And now we get the most high-induced scene of all time.
I want you so bad. I want you.
Yeah, hello, 911?
Really, really creepy and trippy. It's kind of interesting. They have all the guys, they are carrying the Statue of Liberty and they're saying, she's so heavy. Did you like my rendition right there? Heavy. I'll keep doing it. Heavy. So Max is freaking out, they're all hanging in the apartment. Jojo and Sadie are vibing, singing I Want You, and then our girl Prudence is watching and she's singing I Want You about Sadie. Lucy catches this, says to Jude, do you think Sadie knows? And he's like, no what? Pfft. Men. Prudence locks herself in the closet.
It's Prudence. I think she's hung up on me.
And they sing Dear Prudence to help her get out.
Dear Prudence, dear Prudence.
And then they go to kind of like this peace march. Now we have a little cute moment. Max is banging with the hammer. Bang, bang, Maxwell Silver hammer. We love to see it. And he's a cutie patootie. I love him. And I would die for him. Sexy Sadie is meeting with label guy. He just says, sign with my label. He's gonna, you know, big things in store, but Dr. Roberts' bus pulls by and they do a rendition of Flying off of Magical Mystery Tour. Yeah, the bus I feel like is a reference to Magical Mystery Tour in and of itself, but we're gonna get to that. Okay, I just noticed this. In the background music is Blue Jay Way. So we kind of have this, yeah, this is the like psychedelic section, the Magical Mystery Tour section. They go to Dr. Roberts' party. This is totally giving me like Andy Warhol vibes, factory vibes. It's giving that scene in the Doors movie, the Oliver Stone movie, where Jim meets Andy Warhol and all that shit goes down. Fun fact, Evan Rachel Wood gave a little introduction at Hollywood Forever. She wasn't there physically, she has a leg injury, so she sent a video, but she said that her and the boys were actually tripping during this scene when they're kind of supposed to be. And we get an appearance by Dr. Robert himself, played by Bono, whose back is in critical condition for carrying this film on it. He does a legendary rendition of I Am the Walrus, also off of Magical Mystery Tour. And Dr. Robert is off of Revolver and also appeared on Yesterday and Today, that album with the babies. This is probably my favorite scene. I love Bono's rendition. I love the visuals. I think this is just mwah. Now they're all high on the bus, Magical Mystery Tour bus, and they are heading to see Dr. Gary, who is some associate of Dr. Robert. The bus is titled Bluebird, and could that be a reference to the Paul McCartney, like the Wings song, Bluebird?
I'm a bluebird, I'm a bluebird, I'm a bluebird.
I don't know, but I'm going with it.
I said what I said!
So Bono says, or Dr. Robert says, back on the bus, and I can't help but shake this feeling that that line is a reference to Magical Mystery Tour, the movie. I think it's Paul, and he goes, back on the bus. That's my little Paul impression.
Come on. Come on. Back on the bus.
It's time for Mr. Kite, okay? And Eddie Izzard is playing Mr. Kite, giving us an iconic rendition. The edible is kicking in. We get the blue people. The blue people, you guys, are a reference to Yellow Submarine and the Yellow Submarine film. So shout out to you, blue people. Yeah, this whole like circus thing, and John Lennon wrote this song based on an old circus poster. So they add this line, the tune in, turn on, drop out in the song, and it is a mantra by Timothy Leary, and that is a 60s like hippie counterculture movement, his drop out mantra thing.
Just tune in, turn off, drop out, drop in, switch off, switch on, and explode.
I asked Timothy Leary, but he couldn't help me either. They call me the Seeker. Okay, this isn't about the Who, Rio, but I love the Who. And maybe I'll do Tommy next. Comment below if you want me to do Tommy, okay? And then Prudence is actually a performer in this circus, and she is now dating a girl named Rita, which is a reference to Lovely Rita, Meter Maid off of Sgt. Pepper. Now they all sit in a circle and sing Because. It's great visually, but to me it's the most pretentious song. This is so pretentious. Let's sit in a circle and sing a song. Demi Lovato was on Glee and they sang Let It Be in that circle. Okay, I do love this editing right here where they are underwater in this kind of like romantic, psychedelic, beautiful orgy. And then we get Max in Vietnam. He comes out of the water and then we see a shadow over him. It's cool. Now we get Jim Sturgis' beautiful rendition of Something. And honestly, it makes me cry every time.
But I don't need no other lover.
You know what I used to say? I used to say, how could Patty not want to be with George after Something? And you know what my mama said? She said, one word, Layla. Let me know if you want a video about that whole thing, a deep dive into the Eric Clapton, George Harrison, Patty Boyd mess, because I will do it for you guys because I love you. Comment below. Right, so Lucy is now volunteering with this kind of activist guy, a little bit radical. His name's Paco, and we soon kind of get to see Jude's jealous side, but to be fair, that guy's a creep and good riddance. Anyway, so he's like, are you gonna come to Sadie's gig? It's tonight. And she's like, I'm gonna try. She is distancing herself from the group, but honestly, great cause. She is against the war and she is really trying to do what she can and fight for it, and props to her, but we don't like Paco on this channel. Okay, so Sadie sings Oh Darling.
Oh, darling.
The T is they need a better guitar player or something, and I think she tried to fight for JoJo, but ultimately he can't stay in the band or something. This is like their last gig together or something, and they're like fighting on stage with Oh Darling. It's giving Fleetwood Mac, it's giving mess, and I'm living for it.
Do you no harm? Oh, darling.
What is the tea? The girls are fighting! No!
Great little reference right here. We get Jude sketching the fruit and he is sketching a green apple, and this is of course a reference to Apple Corp. Then it kind of becomes the logo for Sadie's record label, but it's not the apple, it's a strawberry when he sings Strawberry Fields. So him and Lucy got in this fight and he runs to her workplace and he's all like, you say you want a revolution, and they got pictures of Chairman Mao and everything there. It's crazy. Okay, Jude's walking home, and on the television in one of the stores that he's passing by, we find out that Martin Luther King has been assassinated. Again, this movie is brilliant in bringing in these events of the 60s. Lucy has split, she has packed and left. Tension. Well, Jude, you caused a scene in her workplace. Now Jude is riding the subway and we get a rendition of Across the Universe, the film title, and I think it's my favorite Beatles song, you guys. I know I'm a Paul girly, but don't tell Paul. Across the Universe, I think, is my favorite song. I also love the Fiona Apple version. I did a cover of it. You can go see it on my other channel or on my SoundCloud page. Okay, so there's this big radical protest and Jude and Lucy both get hurt. Jude is thrown in jail and his father tries to bail him out, but yeah, it's an immigration issue and he has to go back to Liverpool. And all the while we hear Helter Skelter being sung by our girl Sexy Sadie. Yeah, now we pan to Max back in Vietnam and we hear Across the Universe. Beautiful dancers in the water, only to have it cut and show them not alive anymore, including these masks. Now Jude is back in Liverpool. He sees Molly pregnant with Phil Scully, who he told her don't move on with him after he stopped writing. She hooked up with this guy. Anyway, now we get Happiness is a Warm Gun, you guys. Great song. This song is about, you know, in the veins. I don't know how much I can say on YouTube, you guys, but I'm doing my best. It's kind of executed in this interesting way because Max is getting like morphine or something injected while he is recovering. He's back from the war, and Selma Hayek is a nurse and she appears like there's 5 of her. It's crazy. So now Paco and his friends are making a bomb for a protest and Lucy completely destroys them with this line. I thought it was the other side who dropped bombs. Hey, she she was right because it killed him and his buddies. So I don't want to say I told you so, but he was trash and good riddance.
Electric chair.
Now Max has been through it. He's having some PTSD, and there's this great scene with him and Lucy, and she sings Blackbird.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night.
And now we get Hey Jude, and this was such a great moment at Hollywood Forever. Everybody put their flashlights up, and we were all singing along. It was beautiful. The power of music, the power of the Beatles. Beautiful, and Jude is like, I know I gotta go back to America, I gotta get to Lucy, and they set up this whole thing. They do basically this concert on the roof, which is of course a reference to the Get Back, Let It Be sessions, and the final Beatles concert on the roof with all that crazy stuff, with the police showing up, and they reference all of that in this scene. They're singing Don't Let Me Down, which was a rooftop concert song, you guys!
Don't let me down. Nobody ever loved me like she do.
I love this man, and I have to have him.
Okay, so then they clear the way, the cops are clearing everybody, but Jude has stayed behind, steps up to the mic, and he starts singing.
There's nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung.
He starts singing All You Need Is Love, and that's just beautiful, right? Okay, Lucy can't get up on that building, but she gets up the other building across the way, and they look at each other, and the movie ends. And then we hear Bono's rendition of Lucy in the Sky. But what a beautiful, like, when he got up and started singing that, like, the first time I watched this movie, I was like, of course, it's perfect. That song is just, all you need is love. Right, guys? Thank you guys so much for watching another movie commentary video. Comment below what I should do next, but I'm really thinking it should be Tommy. We gotta go over Tommy, you guys. Jack Nicholson singing in that film. I have always wanted to know if that's really him singing, and we gotta dissect it, we gotta discuss it. But if there's another film or a musical film, you know, I'll do the bootleg of Into the Woods, I don't care. I love you all so much. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, comment below your favorite Beatles song. I wanna know, or Beatles album. I told you mine is Across the Universe, and I want to know, but Rubber Soul is probably my favorite album. We can go on, and I could go on, but I'm honestly hungry, and I think I'm gonna get some Taco Bell while I edit this for you.